I didn't hear you come in.
Take care how you cut yourself. It's more dangerous than you think.
He was protecting you. Look at your reflection in the mirror. You're a creature of the night, Michael. Just like out of a comic book. You're a vampire, Michael. My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
Initiation's over, Michael. It's time to join the club.
In the police station, when he was being held down and the sergeant came over, he said the sergeant shapeshifted in front of him, turned into a reptile, and then came back to human, and then shapeshifted again and returned. So then when you talk to insiders, and when you look back at the texts that talk about the fact that this serpent race exists in planes unknown to man, just outside his frequency range, then there is a gathering mass of evidence that this is going on. And he went to the elevator. And as the elevator doors were closing, this guy, still at it, comes in the elevator, right in his face, get absolutely livid. And he said he shapeshifted in front of me. So he was then much more open.
You know, there are other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians.
You ain't changing nothing.
I am not going to look at the evidence. I'm just going to dismiss it because it is so different. It is a conditioned mind that is unbelievably imprisoned while thinking it's free. We are given a conditioned reality that is so different from what's actually happening that that gap, that chasm between what we're conditioned from cradle to grave to believe is reality, the movie screen, and what's going on is so great that lots of people can't make that leap. And that's not by accident, that's by design.
And I remember, I'll swear on a stack of Bibles, I remember a lizard man in that office. It was His Highness Draco something. I can't remember the other name. And he was about 6 foot, 7 foot tall, had sort of like scaly skin, humanoid. He walked erect like we do. He had 2 arms, 2 legs. He had a tail, but it really didn't show most of the time. He had somewhat of a humanoid face, strange eyes, a big mouth, and, you know, looked like what you would expect if you're going to put together a lizard man. There was a being on Star Trek called the Gorn that Captain Kirk fought on this planet. this man that I worked next to sort of resembled that being.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
how did that strike you?
I didn't.
That would
have
have to be a traumatic experience. No, not you.
I didn't have that much to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I call it it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure whether it was he or she.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't have that much to do with it.
But you accepted his presence as something normal for...
What else do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You're working next to this thing.
That's true.
You know, it's, how are you? Hi, you know, that sort of
Want to
thing.
go out for coffee and donuts?
Yeah.
He spoke in a hissy voice, you know, hissed a lot,
Uh-huh.
and sort of sounded like he was loud whispering most of the time.
Uh-huh.
It's the Orion group. It's a group that is on its way here and now from Alpha Draconis. They're the real culprits behind this whole deal.
Alpha Draconis or Orion, or both those two?
Alpha Draconis, they're the real culprits behind this whole thing.
Above
The-
Orion, above the Orion group?
Yes.
The Andromedans tell you that the Alpha Draconis are here now. Where?
There are 1,833 of them that have been living underground between 100 and 200 miles beneath the surface. They've been here, some of them have been here a long, long time. They have lifespans that are thousands of years. They're carnivorous. They are not friendly to mankind, at least the ones that are here.
Are you saying carnivorous, they eat humans?
Yes. And they need to be, they won't eat a dead human. It has to be alive at the time of the killing. Their preference is children. You know, and we've been told, you shouldn't talk about that. You know, there are, other people say, well, you better not talk about the reptilians. Well, you know, bull. You know, why not? According to the Andromedans, they're responsible for 31,712 children disappearing in the last 25 years from the United States. These children were food. And I'm supposed to just shut up and not say anything about it because people don't want to hear it? That's tough. That's tough. You know, Westchester County, in the last 5 years, 3,000 children in Westchester County, New York, have vanished without a trace. Where are they going? Why are we allowing this to happen?
Were you ever told anything about where these reptilians came from and what is the history of it all?
They came to that planet. They came to rule. And then about 4,000 years ago, the Aryan, or the reptilians arrived here and again began to take over, instilled themselves in different places underground in the earth, and also this one part of them, the ruling part, took over and became involved in the politics and in the religion, and started controlling through these means at that point in time.
Is this symbolism of the abyss anything to do with the fact that these reptilian demons of another dimension are somehow locked in a time-space prison and they can't get out, and they can only get out when they're brought out in that way?
Yes, they want out of that dimension. They have been thrown into that dimension and they can't leave that dimension. And that's actually what the abyss is about, is being in a different dimension. It's like something to do with the fourth dimension. They need the blood because they are, in fact, not human. They take human shape. They are reptilians. And they need the blood. The blood helps them maintain their reptilian shape, and it helps them maintain their sanity, and it helps them to live in this world because they are not from this world.
Conducted them in Europe and the United States. Can we start with the United States?
Yes, I have seen at rituals, I have seen George Bush, I have seen Madeleine Albright, I have seen Henry Kissinger, I have seen Ronald Reagan, and I have also, by the way, seen his wife, Nancy Reagan. I have seen Hillary Clinton before I knew she was Hillary Clinton at the time. at these rituals. She is involved. The other people that I have named and are, as I have seen shapeshift into reptilians. The two sons of George Bush present at these rituals.
Are these the sons that have become governors?
Yes. One is in Florida and one is in Texas. Did I mention J. Rockefeller? And he shapeshifts. Because I have seen the Queen Mother there, and I have seen the Queen there. I've seen Princess Margaret there. I've seen Charles there. And they shapeshift. Old ones are called out, and they are what Christianity would have called the demons, reptilians needing their blood. And they will take various organs from the sacrifices, and that how could all of these people disappear, or how could all these babies be born? I worked with a nurse midwife. We did home births, and it's very easy not to register a child when it's born. And then they have these children that they're kidnapping and bringing in from other countries, and no one misses them. But what they need is, for it to be secreted in the blood, is they need terrorization of their victims before they are killed for their blood. They will also slit the throat from the left ear to the right ear, and the blood will be gathered in a goblet, and it will be dispersed among the reptilians. They will just rip into the victim and eviscerate them and start eating the flesh of this person too. They can't hold their shape when this happens. The
human shape.
The human shape they cannot hold. They go back into reptilian shape. There are changes going on in the earth. It seems they're not able to hold their shape like they once were able to, and people see them shapeshift more and more, and they need the blood to try and maintain it, to try and maintain their human form. I believe there's a time coming that because of what I've been told, when they are not going to bother having to hold that human shape as they had to before, and they want that time to come. It's almost upon us.
A New York City police officer has been found guilty of planning to abduct women for the purpose of torturing, killing, then eating them. Gilberto Valle now faces life in prison, but his defense team had argued that the discussions he had over the internet were only fantasies. Here's our North America correspondent, Johnny Diamond.
A New York cop who crossed the line in more ways than one. A husband who discussed killing and eating his wife. A man facing life in prison for his sick plans to kidnap, torture, and eat half a dozen women.
You better not talk about the reptilians.
You ain't changing nothing.
You see, what we're talking about here is an organism that imitates other life forms, and it imitates them perfectly. When this thing attacked our dogs, it tried to digest them, absorb them, and in the process shape its own cells to imitate them. This, for instance, that's not dog. It's imitation. We got to it before it had time to finish.
that house will rock. Blind boys don't lie.
I was no longer alive. I was like dying. I was agonizing. My body fell to the ground. In that moment, I see my body. I wanted to touch it, grab it, and I wanted to re-enter my body. And then he said, I'm going to show you hell so that you can come back and tell humanity that hell is real. And I will show you that place because there's many that know that hell exists but do not fear. They think it's a game. They think that hell is a joke. And at that moment, as he was speaking, everything begins to shake. The ground began to shake, and the earth split open. And I looked down, and we were at a great height. And what I could see, looking down, I saw a very dark hole. What was happening was that we were going down into the abyss. And when I began to cry and scream, I said, Lord, no, 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 I don't want to go. And he said, it's necessary that you see this. And I began to see demons, horrible. They were very horrible. And I began to see them. They were huge. There were giant demons, small, and all kinds of demons. And then I would notice how they would run, and they ran in an unexplainable manner. Their speed was so great, and I could see that they held something in their hands. And I said, Lord, why do they run like this? And what's that thing that they're holding between their hands? And he said, daughter, they run in this manner because they know that their time is running out. Because they only have a short time left to destroy humanity and especially my people. And when he told me that thing that's in their hand are the darts to be able to destroy humanity, and every demon has its name, and with that name they carry that dart to destroy that person and bring him here to this place, because their goal is to destroy that person and bring them to hell. And I would see how the demons ran and went up to earth, and he said they're going up to earth and bring and throw humanity here in this place. I didn't create hell for humanity. And I said, but why is humanity here? Daughter, it's because I created hell for Satan and his angels, whom are the demons. But because of sin, because of the lack of repentance, humanity comes here to this place. And there's way more that are condemned than those that enter my glory. And when they would come here to this place, the demons would mock them and say praise and worship, because this is your kingdom now. That would extend their arms towards us so that the Lord would help them, so that the Lord would take them out of there. But what I could say is that those that are above ground are the ones that still have a chance. For that person that has not died, for that person that remains alive, those still have time to repent. And he showed me a place where I could see a woman that was there in the flames being tormented, and she would scream and ask the Lord for mercy. Then the Lord said, daughter, that person that you see over there in those flames is Selena. And the Lord said that Selena was there, and we began to get close to her, and she would say, Lord, have mercy on me, forgive me, Lord, take me. And soon after, I could see at a distance a place where all the singers and artists would go when they died. And at that moment, I saw at a distance a great multitude of demons conjuring up some type of rain. And I really thought that it was raining for real, and then I saw the people run. Almost everyone that were there in the flames would run towards that place where it rained. And when I looked, they yelled out, no! They would yell, help me, Lord, because at a distance, they could see that the Lord was here. They said, this can't be. And the demons would begin to laugh. Then I looked and saw how the flames would multiply. I could see how the worms would multiply in them. And so what happened was that it was not water, but sulfur, in which it multiplied the flames and tormented the people. And the demons would laugh and say, worship and adore, because this is your kingdom. This is your kingdom. You have to worship. It's your kingdom forever and ever. The demons would say. And I said, Lord, what's this? And he said, this is the price of that person that has not repented. And in that moment, the Lord looked at him and said, you very well knew. You knew well that this place was real. When the Lord told him, it's too late. There's no other chance for you. And there the Lord would begin to tell me that there's many people that are walking here towards hell. And I asked, Lord, how is that they're walking here to this place? And he said, I'm going to show you. He began to show me a tunnel, how many people were chained up from their hands to their feet. And they were chained up and had a great weight upon their backs. And they were dressed up in black. And then he said, look, daughter, those people that you see walking over there are people that still don't know me. And those things that they carry on their backs is their sins. But go and tell them to give their weights to me, that I will give them rest, that I am he who forgives all sin. Because Satan, with the use of these tools, comes and pulls you towards hell. And then the Lord says, daughter, there are people that know me and are coming towards this place. And I said, Lord, how is that people that know you are coming to this place? And he said, that person that strayed from my walk, and that person that is living a double life. And he took me to a tunnel where I saw thousands of people fall into the abyss. And it was not like 1,000 or 2,000. It was like the sand of the ocean without number. They would fall like this per second. They would fall like handfuls of sand falling like this really fast. The souls would fall and the Lord would sadly cry and say, daughter, that's how humanity is being lost, just like this. And he would cry and say, daughter, it hurts me to see how humanity is lost. And the demons would gather here at this place. And I asked, the demons gather? And he said, yes, daughter, they gather and plan what to do with humanity. Daily they would have their secret meetings. I began to see a wooden table, and I began to see chairs around it. And at that moment, the Lord showed me all kinds of demons, and the Lord said, daughter, they are here planning to go out to destroy the pastoral families, the missionaries, the evangelists, and all them that know me. Daughter, they want to destroy. They have many thoughts. Then the demons would laugh and make fun of. They would say, let's go out and destroy humanity. They're bringing them here into this place. He said to me, go and tell them that I'm with them, and to not open the doors or give space for Satan to come in, because Satan's like a roaring lion looking to whom to devour.
Some are a little bit taller than 7 feet. The way that the reptilian, the nose shapes into the snout at that point, and the jaw becomes the under part.
Okay, what are the physical characteristics of the Alpha Draconis? What do they look like?
I don't have that. Maybe it's in the car. They're ugly. I mean, they think we're ugly, too. And I guess it's all a matter of perspective and belief system. In my belief system, and I'm only taking responsibility for me, they're ugly.
And take a look here at this actor who is playing the role of Satan in the History Channel miniseries, The Bible. All right, so if you think it looks anything like President Obama, you are not alone. Social media blew up after the scene aired. There were nearly 20,000 tweets containing the words Obama and Satan.
And when they would come here to this place, the demons would mock them and say praise and worship, because this is your kingdom now.
Yes, we can. Hey, you say.
Praise and worship.
Let me express my thanks to the historic slate of candidates who accompanied me on this journey. Let me express my thanks to the historic slate of candidates who accompanied me on this journey. Let me express self-esteem. Self-esteem.
That thing wanted to be I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
And they'd also drug them up, and they'd take a sacrificial knife and they'd start from the chest and move all the way down to your abdomen. And then that's how they sacrificed, and they'd collect the blood and they'd drink it. When the mid-September through mid-November, they sacrifice babies and nothing but babies because they need the pure blood of the untainted children. And I didn't understand what it was like. I can't believe I'm seeing this every year of my life. I've experienced that, and that was the hardest part for me. It's like hearing those babies literally scream and cry, and then seeing their blood flow.
The little boy was taken to a basement. He was crucified alive. First he was skinned. Why is it that no one knows this?
Because there's Satanists in the police force and also in the government, the army. They're everywhere. They're even on the council of, the representatives of the United States also. And they're silenced because this is not being exposed, because they don't want it to be exposed, because they're really good at lying and hiding things.
Rebecca, what happens to the people that want to come out of Satanism?
They get killed. They get followed, they get taken, they get sacrificed in front of the congregation of the Satanic Church.
Why?
Because they know too much information about the Satanists and who their names and places of where they keep the people underground, and they just know too much information. It's like being in a gang or in a mafia. You don't get out alive without consequences.
They gain control of the world by bankrupting their own businesses. The Illuminati own most, I would say 99 and 9 into the stores that you walk into and shop and the gas stations you go to. And they are going to destroy them on purpose. And the idea of taking over is to bankrupt the whole world where nothing is of any value and the currency does not exist anywhere, and then come back and solve all the problems.
These guys who are manipulating my mind and programming me for mind control purposes claimed, and these criminals in control of our country as well, claim to be gods, demons, and aliens, in order that I feel totally helpless, in order that I felt like they were beyond my realm to affect.
Mother, help me!
Oh, absolutely. Oh, God, yeah, it's part of the deal.
You're a creature of the night, Michael. Just like out of a comic book. You're a vampire, Michael. My own brother, a goddamn shit-sucking vampire. Oh, you wait till Mom finds out, buddy.
You better not talk about the reptilians.
You ain't changing nothing.